I fell on the road thanks to KSRTC bus drivers and their mad way of driving. Every time in the morning if I'm passing through Kalmesheri and if it's a Sunday, I pray to God there is no auntie driving from church who wants me to meet God directly. Hi, my name is Lorraine D'Costa. I'm an endurance cyclist, basically from Kollam, but I've been living in Cochin for the last 5-6 years. I'm the only child of my parents, and I did my schooling in Kollam, and then I moved to Malaysia to do my graduation. So I graduated in journalism, but I did not go to work in the journalism field. Instead I ended up working in sales for Intel in Malaysia for a few years before I moved to Dubai and worked there for 4-5 years. Okay, the story about how I got into cycling is pretty funny. I used to be in this Facebook group, you know, a group where people used to talk about alcohol and all that. So there's this guy who everybody, you know, you look at him, he doesn't look like a cyclist, and he made a post saying that he's going to do a 1,400 kilometer cycling event, and I bet him that, you know, if he would complete it, I would actually give him a gift. So he went on to do that event, and after doing that event, I gave him his gift, and he then introduced me to one of India's top cyclists, endurance cyclists called Mr. Galin Abraham. So as we got talking, and that's when he said, okay, there is a 200 kilometer BRM, there's a 200 kilometer ride coming up, and nobody has attempted, you know, doing a BRM on a tandem cycle in Kerala as of yet. So he asked me if I was interested, and I said, yeah, sure, why not? So with no prior practice, nothing, I registered for the event, and we went on to do the 200 BRM, and that's how it actually started. And from there I got myself a bike, a Lapierre, and my first long trip was to it was Munnar. It was Munnar, and then I went on to go to Vagaman, and then I went on to do an Ooty ride with these guys. And after that, I don't think I have ever turned back. Coming to the tandem SR, that was my first ever SR. So since Galin Aiton had to go to Paris to do PBP, so we only had time after his PBP ride to do the rest of the series, like which we completed 200. So there was a 300, 400, 600 pending. So the only one place that we could do it all one shot in a month was Coimbatore. So we managed to get a tandem sent to us from Bangalore all the way to Coimbatore, and yeah, every weekend we went to Coimbatore to do the rest of the series, and that's how we got our first tandem SR. And yeah, and after that it was a very big dream for us to do the, we wanted to do the LRM, 1200 LRM on a tandem as well, but due to Corona, like so many places didn't have the event, and you know, taking a tandem and traveling to other states was also out of the question. So we waited, and then finally Cochin bikers gave us the opportunity to, you know, realize our big dream, which was a tandem LRM, and yeah, we successfully did it in 88 hours and 58 minutes, which was absolutely, like, you know, like it was our dream come true, and we were really happy. I mean, it wasn't without its fair share of controversies and all that, but still it was a dream come true, and you know, we couldn't let anybody else take that away from us. First major challenge when you're trying to do a BRM is not having a mental block. If it's BRMs, you know, since they are long distance rides, and if you do not have the patience for it, I wouldn't suggest anybody without patience to even give it a try, because it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take a lot of your mental strength and capability to keep you going. For me personally, how I prepare is I just get my bike sorted first, and then I get my safety equipment sorted out, and then I just take a deep breath, get on my bike, and then I just go. Because and I study the route also, and like each area has got its ups and downs. Like if we are doing the highway route, I always make it a point to be extra vigilant when I'm passing through Alapi or Karunagapalli or areas like that, where people always tend to drive and ride on the wrong side of the road. And yeah, even recently for the 600 BRM, twice I got I fell on the road thanks to KSRTC bus drivers and their mad way of driving, and just braking right in front of you. So yeah, you have to be like very vigilant, and there's a lot of things like I've had night rides when you're doing here also, when you're doing BRMs, like long distance BRMs like 400, 600, you are riding through the night, and then I've had people tail me on bikes, and I've had to stop and try to wait and see if they were going to go past me, or if they're just still hanging around me, or wait for another rider to come by. And even to the extent of carrying a knife, I do carry a knife with me on all my long rides. So yeah, it doesn't discount the fact that both men and women face these challenges, but being a woman on the road here at night, we have to take care of our own safety as well. Yeah, my biggest cheer system is my parents. They do not, my mom has an entire list of all the events that are happening in India for this calendar year. So she narrows down, rides that she thinks are very interesting, or maybe I should give it a try or do it or something like that. And yeah, and for any cyclist, all of the people in the cycling community know that, first and foremost thing is we have parents who actually why are you spending so much of money on cycling, why is it so expensive, and people have to lie about how much of money they spend. If they spend 20,000, then they have to say the amount as 2,000. But for me, it's thank God I'm blessed that I do not have to do the lying and anything of that, so that I can just tell them how much it costs, and they're like, okay, all right, as long as it's going to help you do your events, or as long as it's going to make your bike better, sure, why not? They are my biggest cheer systems, and I do have a supporting partner who's also one of the main reasons I even started cycling. Without his support and without him pushing me to give it a try, I don't think I would have actually started off cycling even. So yeah, I eat anything and everything I feel like it. I think Zomato and Swiggy benefits a lot out of me, and yeah. So I just eat, if I'm cycling through somewhere on on an easy ride or something, and then something smelling good on the from a restaurant on the side of the road, I would not think twice about stopping there and eating. So for me, it's that I do not have any strict diet or anything. I'm very undisciplined that way. So I've got currently I have 4 bikes with me. My first bike was a Lapierre Audacio 100. It was a flat bar hybrid road bike, and after that me and Galnet, and we pulled in, we shared the cost, and then we have a tandem bike, and then I got myself a Trek Domani SL5, with which I have done almost 8,000, 9,000 kilometers in 5-6 months. So, and my partner used to, he used to ride, but now he doesn't ride anymore. So he had a sort of vintage rally, so which I have actually got it refurbished, and now changed some components so that it actually fits me and I can ride it. And I have another 2 bikes being built. One is a fixie, and another is a, I know it's a surprise bike, so I'm not going to tell what bike it is. My favorite bike would be the Trek Domani, because Red Sonia. Because I waited for 11 months patiently without bugging the dealer, because that was how much time it was taking for bikes to get delivered at that point of time. So yeah, patiently 11 months, and it was well worth the wait. Okay, I'm one of the founding members of ODAC India Women, and so I wouldn't call it a club or something. It's just a gathering of women, pan-India women riders who are into brevets and ultra distances and ultra cycling. So it's a space where we can discuss what we cannot discuss with other riders, be it about component, like women specific gear, like be it like saddles or even jerseys, whip shorts, anything, and how everybody goes about riding, and what precautions people take when you're doing night rides, or get ideas from each other as to what all jugads we can do during a ride, or all those kind of things. So it is like when women get together and support each other and encourage each other, because we are just 5% or less than 5% of the riding community. It's just only women, so basically like we are a minority also even in the riding community. So yeah, the whole purpose of this was to give us a space where we can talk to each other and connect with each other, so that if I go from here to Bangalore, I know 10 people from the group who I'll be able to catch up, and they can give me pointers on where to go, what to do, or and all that. So basically, yeah, it's just like a little community for ourselves. I wake up in the morning if I want to go for a ride and pray to God that nobody is coming to cross me in the morning, because I don't want to be spewing obscenities and bad language at people. But unfortunately, yeah, I mean, every time in the morning if I'm passing through Kalmesheri and if it's a Sunday, I pray to God there is no auntie driving from church who wants me to meet God directly just because she's met God and coming out. Or if I reach Angamali, some uncle is decided to ask me, Koche vera pani le, like he says, like, don't you have anything much better to do? Why don't you just go home or something like that? I mean, you have people saying all these unwanted things on the road, or like people like cars and buses trying to force you off the road, or yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I've faced quite a bit. And last BRM twice KSRTC guys almost I fell down. I've had bruising, but thankfully me and the bike were okay. But yeah, that's how they are. They just find a little, like, there are people who actually find sadistic pleasure in driving cyclists off the road. So it doesn't matter if it's a female or a male, it's bound to happen. But I wouldn't say that for like touchwood. Till date I've done BRMs in Tamil Nadu. People have been very kind, people have been very nice, and even the bus guys weren't like as crazy or trying to drive you off the road or something. So I mean, I wouldn't say, like, safety wise, it's like different places, different people, different mentality. Even Kolkata also, people are curious about where you're coming from, what you're doing, but they're not trying to drive you off the road, or it isn't dangerous. So yeah, it's like different places, different people, different mentality. The support is there is overwhelming support and stuff like that. But even in the community, when there is a female that is actually rising above her male counterparts, there is always a little bit of jealousy, there is always a little bit of friction that happens, that is there. But personally, I try not to see that part, and I only take to heart what I have. Like I have a close set of friends who are very supportive. So I mean, that is the only thing that matters. And for women and for girls aspiring cyclists and all that, I mean, I see a lot of parents who actually are taking the time and effort to bring their children, take them to events, get them the right equipment. So things are changing, and it's changing for the good. So like as far as the community goes, I would say for cycling, Corona has been a boom, because a lot of people turned to cycling during the pandemic, and so many of them have turned into like really excellent cyclists, and a lot of women cyclists have also come out during the pandemic. So, and yeah, I mean, the community is very welcoming. There are so many like clubs organizing their daily, weekly rides and all that. So yeah, the community is actually like very starting to become very women friendly. There is like, anybody who knows me knows that if I have any role model, it has to be Galen Abraham. I mean, he's one of India's most accomplished ultra cyclists, and if I could achieve at least 1/4 of what he has done, or if I could at least be 1/4 of the person he is, I would feel like I would have done something. So whatever I'm doing right now, whatever the distances, whatever I'm trying to, all the events that I'm like packing my bags and doing, it's just because I aspire to be like him. And yeah, he makes fun of me saying that I'm sorry that I gave you this cycling madness, but now since you've got it, so he's also very encouraging of what I'm doing right now. So I am hoping to get to London in July to do the London, Edinburgh, London, and PBP, Paris plus Paris is also coming up next year. So those are my two major goals at the moment. So yeah, and all of these goals have been put into my head by my guru Galin Abraham. So basically, yeah, I have a lot of things to do. I mean, like training wise and all that. So yeah, hopefully I make it. I've had so many memorable rides and all that. So what I mean, like there's this one ride that I couldn't complete. It was a 600 BRM towards Calicut, Kannur, Calicut, and then back via Mahi. So I mean, since we didn't reach the halfway point we reached, but then we knew that we couldn't make it back on time. Me and my friends, we decided that we're gonna stop. And then we heard that 4 or 5 of our other friends have also quit. So we made a plan to just meet up at one point, and then we all caught a mini tempo traveler. We stopped by Mahi. We just had some fun there. They packed up our cycles, and then we just enjoyed our way back. So many people were like, "Oh my God, don't you feel bad that you had to DNF your 600?" But then honestly, I really didn't feel bad because we had way too much fun that day. So yeah, I mean, like you have those moments where you lose a ride, but then you make other memories otherwise. So yeah, so I just have one thing to tell people, like when you do an event and if you think that you are going to lose it, no, don't give up like that. Okay, fine, you're losing it, just okay, fine, ride, finish it, or and try the next time. I mean,